Hey church, I am here today in First Evanston, First United Methodist Church in Evanston, interviewing or talking to Reverend Grace Imathiu, who's been here for the last 10 months, are we
10
at?
months. Mm-hmm.
And Grace was one of the 11 folks from our conference that went to the UM Forward. So I wanted to talk with her for a few minutes about her experience and where she is seeing hope and movement in what might be next. So tell me about your impressions or whatever you want to say.
Well, I was not sure why I got invited. I mean, looks are not everything, so I wasn't sure why. Maybe it's because I sit on two chairs, being both African and serving in the United States, or maybe because I'm now senior pastor of a large congregation, or because I preach in different gatherings. I wasn't clear why I had been invited first to Atlanta, and then in Atlanta, then on to Kansas City. I was not a member of the convening team. I was just a participant. So I went, in that place where you're not exactly sure what you represent and who you're supposed to be and what is expected of you. So I went with my guard a little bit up and not very sure who was in charge and what was being asked of us and what else, that kind of thing. I had left General Conference, like most of us, feeling so embarrassed, ashamed, as well as hurt. I'm embarrassed to say that it took me 3 days to take a shower. I just sat around wondering how I was going to get in the pulpit and look at members of my congregation who are married and have children, and their children come up to the steps, and it was just how I was going to do that. It was just, I was just so confused. I was also hurt because I do know many of the WCA folks on a personal level, and they're people I love, and our relationships are now torn, and so I was grieving that loss as well. So I went to Kansas City, that kind of a person, both injured as well as vigilant, as well as maybe cautious. And I came from Kansas City, from the Next movement, feeling empowered and joyful.
That's wonderful. But tell me more about the empowered and joyful and what happened there, besides maybe the Holy Spirit. I don't know.
The Holy Spirit came down on me. First, there was clarity, so that now there's no need to kind of be on both sides at the same time, kind of say yes, no, but kind of thing. It was very clear. We talked about, when we had our commitments, first, that we are followers of Jesus Christ who are guided by the Wesleyan tradition, the quadrilateral. And second one, that we claimed our baptismal vows to resist evil in whatever form it presents itself. And the third one, we reject the traditional plan. That opened up for me, call it permission, call it coming out of the closet, so I can stand in my pulpit, I can stand and say, we reject the traditional plan. And the fourth commitment was actually the simple plan, that we will resist and reject all language in our book of discipline that is harmful to our LGBTQ brothers and sisters. So I came back feeling really empowered with clarity, and I feel good.
That's great. So what, for the average folk in the pew or in the pulpit that's here in the NIC or beyond, what do we do next?
Well, of course, being an American, there's a need to do the next thing quickly. In that meeting, it was a 3-day meeting. Jesus was in the tomb for 3 days, so hopefully there was resurrection here as well. In that meeting, we talked about 3 strategies. And different people are going to be, I guess, to love different strategies. The first strategy was to stay, resist, and reform. Hopefully that the WCA, the traditional plan folks, will leave. That's one strategy. The other strategy was disaffiliation. And that's always been in the Book of Discipline. You need a 2/3 majority, I believe, at annual conference. So that's all outlined in the Book of Discipline. And then the third strategy was dissolution. That takes a little longer with general conference. So we have the 3 different strategies. And I think different people are going to warm up to different one. I don't think we need to say one or the other. We can have all 3 at the same time as where the Spirit leads you.
Wonderful. Any other final thoughts? Or?
Hey, now the hard work begins, and the work of actually becoming active as Christians. That this is now the time when we have to practice our Christian disciplines. We now, all hands on deck as we do the work of Jesus. I'm so glad that we are here in the dining hall, that tonight is going to be Thursday, it's Soup Kitchen. And so this place is going to have about 80 different people who are going to be coming for their meal today. And so now we get to do the work of Jesus.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time and for the conversation. And friends, as always, if you have questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comments below or on Facebook. All right. Thanks.